Welcome to Diary of a Dreamer, where resilience unlocks your potential. I'm Tasha Eizinger, and each week I'll bring you powerful stories and practical insights from my own experiences and inspiring guests. Whether you're facing challenges or chasing dreams, this podcast is your go-to for motivation, building confidence, and practical tips for transforming obstacles into opportunities. Be sure to check out my website, tashaeizinger.com. Let's dive into today's episode and start turning your dreams into reality. Today, we are with Kathleen Cotter Clayton. She is the daughter of Dr. Joan A. Cotter, who is the author and developer of RightStart Mathematics, which I'm very excited as a former teacher to learn more about this way of teaching math. Kathleen is also involved with curriculum development and has written or co-authored 18 different manuals. That's so much work.
It's been a lot.
A lot of work. Oh my. And of course, Kathleen travels all across the country speaking, travels the world for fun, has 6 kids and 6 grandchildren. It is so good to have you here. Kathleen, thank you for joining us today.
And thank you so much for having me, Tasha. I'm excited.
You know what's funny? So in the email today, you said we're tech sisters. I love that you have like bachelor's, 2 master's degrees. I have a bachelor's degree. We both are involved in the tech world in some capacity, right? And we could not figure out the intake form either way.
And when I finally sent my copy, 2 of them were upside down. And
I turned my computer upside down. Oh my goodness. So I'm like, we are definitely meant to be friends.
This is fun.
Oh my goodness. I just love it because I tease that technology is kind of out to get me a little bit sometimes. And then I found out that you have 2 master's degrees and I'm like, all right, then it's fine. I'm still smart. It's fine.
I can still do this.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, I would love to hear why, like, there's a lot about math out there for people, right? And
yes.
I only taught math 1 year. Thankfully, I mostly taught writing because math is really hard to teach. And part of it is how we were taught.
Exactly.
How to do it. It's just like you just learn the formula and you just do it, right? That's not really teaching how to do it. So why should we not teach our children? That's just the way we do it and always have done it.
Well, you look at how many people today, how many people like math? You know, in a room full of people, like when I'm speaking, I'll have people raise their hands and, you know, maybe on a good group, I'll get 40%. Most of the time it's 20, 30% that they say they like math. The rest of them are like, ooh, yeah, 4-letter word. Don't do that. You know, they just, I'm not going to do it. I don't like math. It's not good. They don't. And that's not where we want our kids. We want our kids loving this. Math is something that brings order to our chaotic life. Math, it's not just your multiplication table. There's actually 200 branches of mathematics.
Okay, wait a minute. How are there 200? We need to stop there. What do you mean?
Because, okay, you got this big whole thing. This is math, but in there's arithmetic. Okay, we know that, you know, it's our addition, multiplication, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. But then there's also statistics. Some people are like, oh yeah. Other people are like, there's algebra, there's geometry, there's fractals. There's actually a branch of math called recreational math. And some people are like, that's kind of an oxymoron. I don't think so. Yes, there is. You know, like when you look at the Sudoku.
Yeah.
That's math.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So like even like my 4-year-old right now, she was measuring her foot with her finger and she was like 1, 2, and she said, look, it's 10 inches long.
Yeah.
And my older child was like, she got out the ruler. She was like, I gotta make sure that my little sister understands. I said, no, that's the beginning of understanding math.
Exactly.
There's measurement and distance, and she's using her thumb.
Yeah, even though as a measurement tool. So it's 10, right? She may be 10 thumbs, you know, her foot's 10 thumbs, you know, not 10 inches, but she's getting the idea of the concepts. There's so many cool things in math, but what happens is people like me, I'm actually not that good in arithmetic. I mean, I don't know what 8 times 7 is. I can figure it out. I'm not stupid, but I don't know what 8 times 7 is. I have to go back and see. So I got to do it out loud now. 8 times 7. So what I do is I say 4 times 7. I know that's 28 times 2. I double it. So now I know my answer is 56. But 8 times 7, I truly don't know. Because to me, 8 times 7, 8 times 6, 6 times 7, they're all the same. They're in the 50s, 40s, somewheres. I don't know. But you get people who think arithmetic is the only math there is. So you can be bad in arithmetic, like me, and be really, really good in math. Like when I got statistics class, when I was working on my bachelor's and my master's, that was like candy. I saved that homework to the very end. I do all the other icky homework, and then I do my statistics homework because I loved it. I know I'm weird, but
no, there's not too many
that was
people
great. Geometry, I don't really like geometry. Like with all the Euclidean geometry, with all those dry proofs, I don't like that. But again, statistics, algebra, I thought algebra had died and gone to heaven. I loved it. I loved the logic of it. So there's different kinds of math.
It's like you just learn the process and you just keep repeating the process over and over. I feel like with algebra.
Right. And what happens is that if we teach the same way that you and I were taught, kind of a drill and kill method. Mm-hmm. If I don't know what 8 times 7 is and I have no idea how the numbers are linked together, how am I supposed to know the answer to that? And how am I supposed to know that math is so much more than arithmetic? We've got to do something different than the way you and I were taught. And we have the research. We know, not we RightStart, me and Kathleen, but the research community knows that people don't learn just by sheer memorization. And you can learn some things, but that needs a lot of attention, a lot of review to keep it intact.
So is it more like understanding the concept, right? Like what you were saying when you took, 8 times 7, the concept is it's,
I break 8 apart,
right? And you understand the concept of how it's structured and another way to get the answer.
Exactly.
So is that really what you're teaching is more like understanding the mechanics of it versus like we were taught memorize and
just memorize. Right. Because you think about it, if I have to memorize, if I have an 8 and a 7, initially my answer is a 1 and a 5 because it's addition. Mm-hmm. Right. But then the next year, 8 and 7, because I had the plus sign and I got rid of the vertical line. And now I just have this horizontal line. We call it subtraction. And now 8 and 7 is just the 1. Yeah. Okay. That's a little weird, but okay. I can memorize that. But then you do 8 times 7, you take the plus sign and you move it 45 degrees. Now all of a sudden the answer is a 5 and a 6 because I don't know. And then never mind division. And then you put fractions in there. I mean, I can't memorize it. There's 390 math facts to memorize.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And no wonder why like your 10-year-old is starting to melt. I usually say if we don't kill our kids off in multiplication, we kill them off in fractions.
Fractions
traditionally.
Are hard.
Right.
Yeah,
but they're really not. They're really, really cool once you understand what they are. So what we do is we teach you what it is, how it goes together. We actually use an abacus to give the children a feel for what 8 means and what 7 means and what 8 is 7 times. Ooh, that's a lot of beads. And so we've got different ways of approaching it. So we learn it on the abacus and then we practice it with card games.
So you're really addressing visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learners all at the same time.
Yep. All at the same time.
That's a great idea. Do you want to know the hardest math I ever did?
What's that?
So we had to learn at Purdue. I thought, this will be like easy. It's just like basic math. No, we had to do math. So our system, of course, is in base 10.
Yep, in base 10.
We had to learn how to do everything, all the arithmetic, fractions, everything with different bases.
Yes.
So 2 base 2 plus 2 base 3 or whatever. And you're like, and it showed just how confusing it really is and how you have to use some of those visuals to explain it. Because I think sometimes as we get older, and yes, eventually we can know most of our facts or whatever, we forget the beginnings of how abstract and confusing it is.
Right. And that's why when you see a number like a 1 and a 5, 8 plus 7 is a 1 and a 5. It's not a 1 and a 5. It's a 10 with a 5 on top of that 0 of the 10.
Yes.
So it's not 105, it's 10, but then you put the 5 on top and it becomes 15.
And that's what the
Like,
base system, changing it. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to teach math. Like, I really,
Yeah.
that's when I knew. I was like, this is so
Yep.
complicated based on how it was being taught at that time, to then turn around
Yeah.
and explain it to these kids.
Right. Actually, and I was going to say, don't quote me, but we're on a podcast. But
Everybody can fact check it, and Kathleen,
we
we can be wrong sometimes. It's okay.
We can. Yes, I might be wrong, but I believe I remember hearing that we started to teach the different bases in schools because that kind of came from NASA. Not NASA themselves saying we need to do this, but the idea that we needed to get people to the moon. We had that NASA push, and so they said, "Oh, we'll do this because that's like what all the smart people are doing." No. Let them get base 10 down really, really good. And once I've solidly got it, then let's try a different base and just kind of, because then you're taking a concept and you're expanding it and you're kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
But don't do it right away. Good heavens, the kids are still trying to figure out what 8 plus 7 is.
Oh, that's so funny, because we did it in college just because our teacher said, we want you to understand how hard it is for kids to understand these concepts. And you need to be able to explain it to them so that you aren't just saying 5 plus 5 is 10.
Right.
You need to be able to explain it to them in a way that they can understand.
Did it work for you?
We're going to make it hard for you. And sure enough, some of my colleagues, they were like, I cannot wrap my head around this.
Right. Now, did it help you, or did it just show you how hard it was?
It really helped me see, because I started like doing things that you see younger kids do. Like, I started drawing things out to see how it went together. Right. And I was like, okay, so this is how this works. It becomes a 10 because of this base being met, and like starting to understand really the concepts of it, of stuff that I could just memorize before.
Right.
Because I couldn't memorize all of these
things. So you had to find a way to figure it out. Okay, well, that made sense. But you were also a college student.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it really showed me, first of all, how hard it is to do, how hard it is to teach effectively when we were taught just memorize. Yeah. So
the way that we do it, when I'm in a presentation and talking with, whether it's homeschool parents or it's teachers or, whoever I'm talking to, tutors, I like to use the analogy of, let's use the alphabet. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. Okay. So what's F plus E?
That's good. Because then you're like, okay, you have to think it through. You're right. So it'd be 6 plus 5, which is 11, but.
Okay. But I need the alpha. You gave me the numeric. You said it was 11. Let's look at you using your fingers.
It's K.
Yes. That's what it looks like to kids.
I love that example.
Isn't that neat? If you just memorize it. But now that you know how to do it, we're going to go pull up flashcards. What's E plus G? What's A plus F? I have no idea. I hate this. No wonder why this makes no sense to kids. And so when you do that, and it was fun to watch. And again, people on the podcast couldn't see it, but Tasha used her fingers, A, B, C, D, trying to figure out what the answer was.
And I was so proud that I was like, C is 5. And like, I got the answer. No, I did not.
No, you did not. You got part of it, but you still had to translate it. And that's what it looks like to a child.
Oh, that is fabulous, Kathleen. So how do we then teach math so it's like alive and joyful, so that kids, even if they're counting on their fingers, like they're enjoying it?
We play games.
Okay, what kind of games? You mentioned
card games. So they're games, they're activities, they're things. Instead of it being, okay, Tasha, you just learned how to do, F plus E. So we're going to do a whole worksheet. There's 50 of them. Let's go. And I'm going to time you next week on how fast you can do them.
Okay. Listen, I am almost 42. And if you gave me that once this is recorded and aired, I'm 42.
Yeah.
If you told me, Kathleen, that I had to do that by next week and pass a test, I'd be like, you are out of your mind.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
That sounds awful.
Yes, exactly. But that's what we do to the kids. So what we do instead is we're going to play games. Now, a real simple game. Remember the game of Go Fish?
Yeah.
Where you want the 2 to match a 2, 3 to match a 3. Mommy, do you have a 2? No, go fish. Let's do it with pairs that equal 10. So if I have a 2 in my hand, 2 needs what to make a 10?
An 8.
8. So mommy, do you have an 8? No, go fish.
Oh, I like
Oh, so right. Instead of it just being matchy-matchies, it's now what makes 10.
And people have cards at home. Everybody can play the game.
Yes.
This is great.
Yes. Yeah, it's just super easy. Another one far more advanced, but fractions. Remember how to play the game of war? You lay down 2 cards, whoever has the higher one takes it. Again, not really rocket science. What if we use fraction cards? I lay down 1/2, you lay down 1/4. Whose is more? Who takes both cards?
1/2. So you're the winner.
Wait. 4 is bigger than 2.
Right. So then do you draw a picture to show?
So actually what we do in that case, so you're right, 1/2 is bigger. But how
You
often?
Yeah.
But isn't that funny though, how kids will look at the 4 because they've had how many years thinking 4 is bigger than 2. So of course 4 is bigger. No,
Right.
it's not. We took 1 and we broke it into 4 equal pieces, or 1 broke it into 2 equal pieces. Oh yeah, 1/2 is bigger. Super.
Okay. So then
Again,
do
it's
you
a
draw it
worksheet.
out, or do you have like cubes? Like what do you do?
We
so that-
actually have a fraction chart that you can see that I've got 1 broken into 2 equal pieces, broken into 3 equal pieces, 4 equal pieces, 5 equal pieces, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way down to 10, not 11,
Okay.
10. Yeah.
Okay. I know when I was teaching, like I said, I only taught math 1 year. I had parents who said, I cannot do the 4th grade math.
Right.
So I can't help them at home, and so having it something that parents can actually do. I know this is for homeschooling families, but I also think a lot of this can be supplemental.
Absolutely. Yes. And we have a lot of schools that will use the RightStart Math program. We have parents who will, they're teaching whatever in the school system, but then I get the games and I start to practice. So the kids working on fractions, we're going to go play this game. A quick funny story about my oldest grandson. I think at that point he was in 6th grade and I had gone to visit and he says, oh, Grammy, I have to show you, look at me divide fractions. And he did it, he invert and multiplied and did all this stuff. And he had the whole thing. And he said, okay, that's great, Carson. I said, let's go play fraction war, just this one. I did it with just the halves, fourths, and eighths. That kid, it took us an hour. He kept using the chart because he did not know what was bigger, 5/8 or 1/2.
So he knew the formulas, but wasn't.
He knew the formula.
concept.
He had no idea what fractions were even about. He could do the process, but he had no idea what it was about. He didn't even know which was bigger, which was smaller. He did not understand it.
Well, good thing he has you.
Well, yes, I was very pleased that I was able to have him, but I was amazed. And he's a bright kid, but even after an hour, he still had to use the chart, which made me think that he even needed to go back farther than I took him with what is a fraction and work your way up to begin to compare them.
We like to bake. That's our way of practicing fractions.
Yep. And that's good. But if you have things like 1/3 plus 1/2,
yeah,
your measuring cup does not have 1/6 on it.
No.
And so, yes, it gives a concept. It lays an initial foundation, and that is good, but we have to go beyond it. And that's what's so neat about the RightStart program. We have both the full program, and then we also have a tutoring program.
Okay.
So it just takes
more. Explain more.
It just takes bits and pieces. Okay, so RightStart Math is a full program from kindergarten all the way up to high school algebra. So we'll teach everything you need to learn. Again, whether you're a homeschooler or you're a school or you're a tutor or whatever it is that you're working on, the RightStart Math program. But what do we do? I'll pick on your sweet little 10-year-old here. What if your 10-year-old who's what, 4th grade, 5th grade?
5th grade. Yep.
5th grade. And let's just say, and I'm sure she's not, but let's just say that she's over there and she is just struggling to beat the band. She cannot figure out addition. I can't take your 10-year-old, drop her into 1st grade material and expect her to succeed. She doesn't have time. We got to get a move on. We've got to fill this gap and we got to get moving to pull her back up to her peers. So that's where we've got the RightStart tutoring program. And that is assuming the child's 2 years or more behind where they should be. And we only deal with, like, one book only deals with addition and subtraction. Another book only deals with multiplication and division. Another one only deals with fractions. So it's topical what I need to fix, and then I go fix it.
I love that too, because like what you were saying at the very beginning, like arithmetic, not exactly your thing, right?
Right.
So just because maybe a child has done well in math doesn't mean that there's not going to be something that they're learning that's extra hard.
Right.
And so you can like hone in on what they're struggling with.
Right. Exactly. The other thing that's really neat about the RightStart tutoring series is because, again, we assume the child is 2 years or more behind. I'm not going to take your daughter. What is her name, by the way?
Tressa.
Tressa?
Uh-huh.
That's very pretty. So I'm not going to take Tressa again, put her back in first grade and go, okay, we have 4 puppies and 3 more puppies, and make it very first grade-y. You know, we want something that's going to be more appropriate for a 5th grade young lady. And so we're going to have word problems and situations that are more applicable to her age.
Right.
You know, so they're going to be bigger problems. They're going to be, again, more age appropriate. The other thing is with your Tressa, she's already, if she's challenged with her math, she's already been worksheeted to death. She had worksheets in first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. Then she had the extra ones because she was struggling. Then she had the extra ones because she didn't get those. She has done worksheets. I'm done.
Yeah.
So what we do in the books for multiplication, division, and we actually call it number sense. That's the addition, subtraction. The number sense one is there is not one worksheet.
Oh,
she'll be devastated, but she'll be fine. What we do instead is we play games. Games. So instead of doing a worksheet on, again, what makes 10, I'm going to play the Go Fish game.
I love that. And that does work in a classroom setting too. That's what's so great about this. Like you can definitely do it, you know, as a homeschooling parent, supplemental, you know, in the summers. I don't do school stuff too much in the summers. I like them to read and play and explore. But if they're playing with math, it's not doing homework.
Exactly. Quick, you mentioned in the very beginning, I am Dr. Cotter's daughter. She's the author of the RightStart Math program. I have been kind of doing some more things with that, but anyhow, she's my mother. So she actually started this when my younger brother was having difficulties in math, and he has some dyslexia issues. So she would create a math card game and try it out on my sister and I. And if we did it and she worked out the bugs, then she would try it with him, because a lot of dyslexic children, the first way they do something is the way they latch onto it because they get it. And if the game wasn't right, she didn't want him to have to struggle and then change the instructions and things like that. So she would try these out with us. Every summer from about my age, I bet probably 11, 12, 13, every summer we'd get up in the morning, we'd have breakfast, we'd play some games, and then we were released for the rest of the day to go ride our horses or go swimming or do whatever it is that we were doing for the day. But every day, that was just part of it. You had breakfast, you had games, math games, and then we went out and did our thing.
Oh, that sounds like a great childhood.
Right. And so it's an easy way. Oh, I had a wonderful childhood, but it's so easy to do it that way. It's just part of what you do. I mean, you would never skip breakfast.
Right.
Well, we're not going to skip the games. You know, even as you're eating your cereal, you can be playing a game. You can be working with it and having fun and laughter. I mean, that brings the joy into it. Nobody wants to do a worksheet. But if I have an opportunity to play a game and beat my sister, sign me up. I am all over that.
Siblings everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had sometimes where people say, well, I don't have extra kids, or I don't have the time to play the games. Tell the kid to play against the dog. Mm-hmm. See who wins, you or the dog. You know, do right hand versus left hand.
Right.
Yeah. Find a way to modify it to fit your family, to fit your child, to fit your needs. You know, maybe you do it when dad comes home from work.
And a deck of cards can even, you can really see in my back. Here we go. Even a deck of cards could fit inside this, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You don't need a big, huge purse. Just slip a deck of cards in and you can play something. And
you can do it. Yep, exactly.
So are these games, the instructions and things on your website?
We have a lot of them on our website. We have a book called, very cleverly, Math Card Games. I know, we didn't know what else to name it. Anyhow, but that has 300 games. That has addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions, clocks, and money. okay, I don't want to read the book, or I'm not good at reading instructions. We have a Vimeo account where you can choose. We've got an instructional video that shows you how to play all the games, and you can sort it by level, or grade, if you want to call it that. You can do it by level. So I just want to do all the kindergarten games, or I just want to do all the 4th grade games. But you can also sort it by topic. I want just the addition games. I want just the multiplication games. The cost is $4.99 a month. We're not, it's half the price of Netflix, so it's a small amount. Because I'm lazy, what I did is I would tell the kids, hey, go watch that game and go play it with your brother. I really don't care if they change the rules. It's because it's not the rules, it's the thing. It's you're playing the game.
Yeah, they're practicing it and practicing having fun. They don't even realize that they're practicing it. So this is something I call it at home. I do something called sneaky school.
Yes, I saw that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So
did you have on your website, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter one time, she said, Mom, why don't you have me do learning books in the summer like so-and-so does? And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about this. What did you do yesterday? What did we do yesterday? She said, we went to the park. I said, yes, we did. And this was many years ago, of course.
Yeah.
I said, do you remember what you did with the plaque? She said, well, I read the plaque. She was learning how to read, right? I said, what'd you learn? And she told me, and I said, I said, so you learned something, didn't you? And you practiced your reading. And we were out in nature. That's called sneaky school. And that's
I love that.
It's like,
well, I think so often kids think that school is just from September to May. Maybe you go to June, whatever, maybe you start in August, but it's just this, and we don't do it in the summer. But we adults do. Yeah. Everybody does. We need to make learning lifelong. It needs to be something you do all the time. My mom used to say that if she didn't learn, she had a thing. I remember her talking about this when I was a teenager, that if she didn't learn something that day, she would actually grab the encyclopedia. This is, 100 years ago, grab the encyclopedia, open up and start to read until she found something she did not know and she knew it. She'd close it up and then go to bed.
I love this. My grandma used to say, learn something every day.
Yes.
Every day. And she did every day. She got her encyclopedia or she'd look at the globe and always learn something. I absolutely love that. And that's what we want, is kids who are consistently using their brains to explore the world around them. So
and not just the kids, but also us. I don't get to be like, I have a double master's. I'm so smart. I can quit now. No, it just means that I have more to learn. I have to decide, do I want to learn this? Do I want to learn that? Do I want to get better in this? Or do I want to start something completely different?
Well, and let's be real. I don't know about you, but Kathleen, but I feel like the more I learn, the more I realize the knowledge that I have is so insignificant in the spectrum of what's available to learn. I'm like, I know nothing, and I'm still learning everything.
Yes.
It never ends. You're not going around saying every single person on the planet, this is the only way.
Right. Yes, there's always, no one's going to do everything the exact same way. I mean, my goodness, would our life be boring?
I know.
But since this isn't being released till about May, I am going to tell you that we have just joined forces with Nicole, the math lady. And I know, and there are now going to be, and again, I'm saying this here in October, so in May we should have this in place.
I'll double check before it goes live. How about that?
we should, though. We should be having it, but we should have videos teaching the RightStart program for people who are unable to teach their children, or afraid, or want some help to teach their children with the RightStart math program. Super excited. That's going to be amazing. Yes. That's wonderful. Brilliant. Yes.
So I know that you had shared there's a special discount that will last for about a month after this goes live. For anybody who wants to get in touch with you, like how can they get connected? What is the discount? All that good stuff. Because I'm sure that there's somebody listening that they need RightStart.
They want this. Yes. Yeah. The code is going to be DREAMER, DREAMER 25, and then KC2. For Kathleen Cotter Clayton, so KC squared. So KC2, yes. And that will get you, Yeah, so they get a little math joke there. But that'll give you a 10% discount if you go to rightstartmath.com. And it doesn't matter what you want to order. You just want to get the games. You just want to try a few things. You want to go, oh, yes, I totally need this. I want to get the tutoring. See what you need.
And this is perfect timing for summer supplemental math
Yes.
at home. Make math fun so that your kids don't lose what they've learned during the school
Yes,
year.
right. And we can practice and have fun with it and bring the joy. I mean, most people don't put the word joy and math together, but it should be. Math is so cool. There's so many neat things to it and so many exciting little corners and tidbits and pockets of information. It just, I want your kids to be like, oh, good, we get to do math. And not instead of like, oh, yeah. No, we want the joy in there. And I also want to bring the joy to the parents, to the adults, to the teachers. I want you to see the joy that's in there.
And what I love is these people that say they don't love math, I'm hoping the adults learn to find that they can love it too, because they're connecting with their kids and having fun.
Yes.
So,
yes.
This is a great program, Kathleen, and thank you so much for being here and sharing about it. I know we'll be connecting in the future because we're tech sisters now.
Yes. Yeah, if you can read upside down, I can send stuff to you upside down. I totally got this.
Takes real talent,
Yeah.
Thank you again, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Tasha.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Diary of a Dreamer. I hope you found the stories and tips shared today to be a source of motivation and strength. Remember, every challenge you face is a chance to grow and move closer to your dreams. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with anyone who could use a boost of encouragement. Please check out my website, TashaEizinger.com.